All right, now look, I'm finna be explaining the unbalance in the world. Now, what's going? Now, look, I don't even be on IG like that and shit like that. But one thing I do notice whenever I see somebody else on that shit, it's more, it's more like a external type of thing. I'm not saying everybody on Instagram is on IG just to be flexing it on that external. Now, some people smart enough to use Instagram for like personal reasons, like business and shit like that. But the rest of y'all motherfuckers just like to be on that bit just to get likes and feel validated and shit. But anywho, but look though, I'm finna be what I'm finna be doing. Yeah, I'm finna be talking about that fucking let me see. Explaining the unbalance in the world. Now look, we need to understand this though. What back in the days and shit, back in the 1950s and all that other shit, or back in your grandparents' parents' days or some shit. What was the world was more like, it was more balanced. You know what I'm saying? So this is what's going on. Back in the ancient times and shit like that, I'm not really on that Jesus shit, but you know what I'm saying, Jesus type of times and shit like that. That world was more inner. That world was more inner. It was more for the soul and shit like that. When we started shifting towards like, I say like the 19th century and shit like that, like more like the kind of late 1800s or mid 1800s, 19th century type of times, mid 19th centuries type of time. The world was more balanced. Now we in these type of times, and the world is more external. It's unbalanced. See the world, even the world in the world back then, when it was like more like when it was more from the inner, that people inner shit was like the insides of people was right, but at the same time, the external wasn't as far developed like how it is now. So that's when you seen it play out where motherfuckers got diseases and getting sick and dying real early and quick and shit. But at the same time, people at the same time, even though they was dying quick and shit like that, people still had purpose. You had more men out there on their purpose and shit like that. And things like that. It was more people with purpose back in those like inner world days. But at the same time, the cons to it and the bad part about it was motherfuckers, they'll get probably sick or some shit. They ain't had the type of you know what I'm saying, cold. They couldn't prevent themselves from getting colds and sick. You know what I'm trying to say. Now we getting towards look at more the 19 like 50s type of times or some shit, or probably like 1960s, 40s, some shit. The world was, it was internal, but at the same time, it was shifting to the external. But at the same time, the external, it wasn't as developed. But at the same time, as time went on, it started to become more balanced. So you can kind of see around that time, everything was shifting towards. It was still internal, but at the same time, it was becoming more balanced, more yin and yang, more feminine and masculine. The world was becoming more feminine and masculine during those times, like 1950s, 1960s. That's when you see it played out, where relationships that was going on, they was long and lasting. You had more married couples and shit like that, and this, that, and the third. So during those times, shit was more balanced. It was more feminine and masculine. It was yin and yang, external, internal shit. Now we in these times, and shit is more external. It's more advanced on the external reality. It's not, but the internal reality, everybody neglecting. Everybody is forgetting about the true essence of what's the word? The true essence of the core of the life shit that we living in. Everybody forgetting the true core of life. Everybody is forgetting about the true morality. I don't even know what that fucking word means. I ain't finna cap. Hold on. Morality. Siri, what's the hold on, bro. Siri, what's the definition of morality?
Morality means principles concerning the distinction between right and wrong or good and bad behavior.
Yeah, what that shit said. That shit, I had to look that shit up because that shit just came on my intuition. I'm not fit, so I had to look that shit up. See, I'm telling y'all, when I be speaking on these videos, I just be speaking. Like, I be conscious of what I'm saying, but at the same time I'm unconscious. It's like a balance of like the spirit world, and then it's like a balance of like the physical world. But it's like I'm coming together and I'm shooting it in the video and shit like that, so it can. Anywho, now look, now we in the times where everything is more external. It's more like it's advanced though. I'm not finna, hey, we ain't finna lie now and act like it's these the bad times or anything. No, I'm not saying just because everything is external that means it's bad. Now it can get bad, but at the same time, it's gonna play out where it's not gonna be bad on your body or your physical. Now it still can be bad on your body and shit like that, but obesity and shit like that. But we not talking about that. We talking about it's gonna be bad on your internal. See, because it's too much external shit going on. Now even though it's too much external shit going on, you gotta, now when I say this, don't look at it in an evil way. Now you got God and you got the devil. Now the devil represents, now I'm not, now if you on the ego, don't start getting scared and shit, because this is when you start, you gotta listen. Look at the devil as more of hard, solid 3D shit, external shit. Now look at God as more internal shit. You see what I'm saying? Now look, we in the world where like, now look, the devil is not bad or good. So that's what I'm saying, because I know y'all in the ego and shit, like some of y'all in the ego and shit like that, y'all would be like, oh, the devil. No, I'm not saying it like that. Look, so the devil represents more of the external reality shit, the physical part of the reality, and then you got the God part of reality that's more internal. Everybody is running away from the God part of reality, aka the internal part of reality. That's why now I'm not saying we need to go to church. I'm not saying that shit. I'm just saying we running away. I'm basically trying to say we running away from the real world or our real selves. That's when it started to play out where we running away from ourselves. You see how this shit connected? You see how this shit go? Anywho, now look, we in the times now where it's more external. It's more what's the word? It's more like external. Now the devilish part of the world is more updated and it's more God like. You know what I'm saying? So it's more smartphones and shit like that, and computers and gadgets and shit like that. Now these things are good because we in the type of times where even the physical part of reality is good too, or the external part of reality. But at the same time, it's kind of like it's like a trick. It's like a trick, bro. I swear, it's like a trick, and you can't fall for it. And now I'm not saying I'm not saying you shouldn't buy new TVs or none of new cars or nothing like that. I'm saying you gotta know how you doing it. Cause it's like a trick. So you gonna buy it and be like, oh shit, and you gonna get happy and shit like that. Then your ass gonna buy the shit that you want, and your ass gonna be like, damn, I need something else. You gonna keep wanting to buy more shit. Cause it's like a trick, and it's like it's trying to confuse you on thinking like, oh, I'm happy, cause of how new it is. But at the same time, the happiness don't come from the external part of how new it is. The happiness, it really come from within in your own self, and the happiness really come from you appreciating you having what you got, and not trying to keep buying more shit, cause you already fulfilled on your own purpose and shit like that, cause you in the internal reality. See, that's when we got it playing out where it's a whole lot of motherfuckers who like to buy a whole lot of clothes, but like to buy a whole lot of shoes and shit like that, because it's more it's more surface nowadays. But at the same time, they forgetting about the same motherfuckers who buy. Now it's two different types of motherfuckers who buy clothes and shoes. It's motherfuckers who fulfilled, who before they started buying the shoes and clothes, they was already fulfilled, and this was some shit they probably lacked when they was growing up or some shit. Then it starts playing out where they buying it. but they already fulfilled within themselves. So it's like when they doing it kind of don't really matter because it's like a balance between what they lack and it's like unconscious. So it's like an unconscious thing of what they lack when they was growing up or some shit. Then you got motherfuckers who's real surface and shit like that. These the type of motherfuckers who look at a motherfucker who posts like a rapper or some shit, post some shit like Ethica or some shit, or they look at a rapper posting some Gucci or some shit. And now this is for example. I'm not now the rapper could be now this shit ain't for example. This real life now. I was finna say some other shit was for example. This real life shit now. Now the rapper already fulfilled or some shit in a certain type of way because or some shit. But when people who not fulfilled in the internal, they start buying the same shit the motherfucking rapper doing. But then they fail to realize that the rapper it was internal before he was external. But these people they get brainwashed and thinking, oh, it's about the external and shit like that. Then you see it play out where they you know how the story go. Now, but overall what I wanna say is, let me see this shit. What video is this? It sounds like a 2-in-1 special in this bitch. Alright, so I remember this shit. Unexplaining the unbalance in the world. Alright, I got it. Now look, I gotta remember the video I'm making this shit, cause it sounds like I'm making the 2-in-1 in this bitch. Anywho, now look, it's what the fuck I was talking about now? What the fuck was I talking about? What the fuck was I talking about? Oh yeah. So look, it's I don't remember what I was talking about, but overall though, this the overall point I'm finna make. In the times we live in right now, you have to oh yeah, you gotta become more balanced. Now these the best. Now these is the best. Now don't get me wrong. These the best times to live in and shit like that. I'm not saying these the worst times to live in, and you should say fuck getting new iPhones and shit. I'm not saying that. You got to hear me out on this shit. I'm saying like when you in these type of times you want to start pulling the external reality shit. Always gonna be there. It's always gonna be there. So you got to start going within. And then once you go within on your journey within, then that's when you go on your journey on the out. You can't go on your journey on the out without going on your journey in the within. Cause if you don't go on your journey within, you gonna be going on another nigga journey or another motherfucker journey on the out. Whether you gonna be working for somebody else, whether you gonna be doing some shit you don't wanna do. And it's all or the list go on. Cause you ain't take the journey within first. Within your own life, and then your own path, and then you take the path within yourself, and then the path starts to unfold in the external. The path don't go external reality shit. That's why I be saying, why the fuck this school shit even still here? Like, I'm not saying why is it still here, but what I'm trying to say is like I don't get why this school shit. That's why I be saying the school shit don't make no sense. Cause why are we taking the external path already when we should be the path starts within and then it goes on the out. It don't just start on the outside, then we say, oh, I'm majoring in psychology. No, the fuck you don't do that shit. The path always starts within and then it goes on the outside.